like you gon' be talk slick. You won't need no permission to turn up. It's that real Southern soul. It's that real melody. It's in this time, baby. There where I'm from time, niggas. Get what it is, big time. And the boys fucking grown. That's how we run. That's how we cook it and we submit up. And then we break. We eat good, talk slick, roll time, we super lit. We eat good, talk slick, war eagles, we super lit. Pop out, drip clean, mud up, I'm real. Pop out, drip clean, mud up, and I'm real. And sausage on some bread, yeah, that's how we do. All my bustin' at them churn, tellin' them what to do. Be a hands on the grass, while my cousins, they shaking now. Big bro blowing that green, trying not to be seen. A man on stage, throwing ropes, big hats, big rounds, and a snake skin boots. A man don't need no script, just give us a mic and the beat don't get the same thing. There where I'm from, and the boys fucking grown. We cook it and we serve it up. And then we break it over the we eat good, talk slick, roll time, we super lit. Eat good, talk slick, war eagles, we super lit. Pop out, drip clean, mud up, I'm real. Pop out, drip clean, mud up, and I'm real mean.
We're in a beautiful state. City to city, town to town, taking over the whole state. The Southern Soul Princess, Contourme. Yeah! Ashley, where you at?
We getting ready to ride on the fourth leg, man. I thank y'all so much for joining me today, man. What an amazing ride we did. 4 candidates in one day. And we're going to cap this thing off with the amazing Samantha Ingram, man. We doing it major for her. She is Dr. Ingram, man. She born down the bay. She went to BC Rain High School where she graduated, over 20 years of education. Man, she's a part of the Divine Nine. That's a Delta girl. Yeah. She went to the University of Auburn, War Eagle. Man, I'm so glad for this, man. We're going to bring her in, man. She's going for District 2. They got a hot race going on in District 2. I seen her last night. She came in and blazed a good speech for her. Please share the page. If you're on YouTube, give me a thumbs up and give me a subscribe to the channel. If you're on Facebook, if you know anybody in the District 2 area, please log them in as we can hear her journey, her dream for District 2. Without no further introducing her, she's Dr. Samantha Ingram. Yeah, man. We coming on in. The fourth leg. How you doing, sister?
I'm doing great. How are you?
How does campaign race been?
It has been rewarding, exciting, and at the same time challenging. But I've enjoyed every leg of this journey.
Yes, ma'am. Well, I like to ask all the candidates, and you the fourth leg today. I did 4 today, and you the one going to end the night. I like to ask them all to please tell the voters a little bit about yourself.
All right. Again, thank you for this opportunity to talk with your listeners and to be a part of this. I'm Samantha Ingram, born, raised from down the Bay, graduated from BC Rain High School. So we got in the Red Raiders in the house. From there, I went to Auburn University, War Eagle, majored in pre-med biology and came back as a chemistry teacher. From there, I quickly rose through Mobile County Public School System, became the deputy superintendent for the school system, and we were able to get great results. Many people might remember the transformation plan where we transformed the schools from 90% failing to 90% passing. And so as a result of that, I was highly recruited, became a superintendent in South Carolina, and eventually the chief of the Department of Defense over the schools across the nation. And so I have had a blessed career And that's really my reason and my motivation and my why of running. You know, I promise to come back and pour back into the community just as it has poured into me.
Yes, ma'am. Well, District 2 done got a little stanky here. We don't understand, but the race is getting hot. It's getting heated. First and foremost, I want to ask you to explain to the voters of District 2, because one of the candidates tried to file a lawsuit on you, and explain to them that you're good to go. You're fence riders, of course. August the 26th is when we voting. District 2 is a hot race this year, and we want you to explain to your people in District 2 on making sure that you're good to go on all angles.
Absolutely. You know, first of all, I was qualified from the beginning, still qualified, and I'm on the ballot. So that tells them right there, we're good to go. But, you know, when you are behind, when you are concerned, you'll do anything. You're just desperate distractions. And so this was just one of those distractions to confuse the voters. So, you know, when you confuse them, that begins to try to pull down the momentum. But, you know, clearly it did not work. That's why it was tossed out, you know, and any other efforts to do that will not work. I've lived here more than a year. So I've exceeded the qualifications in terms of residency. But what I want to say, what I've been so excited about is the fact that the District 2 residents, they are not buying that. They continue to rise above the noise. And we can see that in the momentum. We can see that how they're showing up, you know, to support. And so I just say to them, continue to rise above the noise, because we know that it's just a desperate distraction.
Yes, ma'am. As I started my journey of doing this, reaching out to candidates, trying to get them to come on the platform, I got an inbox maybe 2 or 3 days ago of some of your flyers in a yard that said the yard was residence of one of your running partners here was Dr. William Carroll. And then I went back to do some research, and they said that he don't own the property, that you was more than in your rights to put the signs in that yard. So I would like for you to give us a feedback on what happened with that situation, and is it good to go from here?
You know, Djlo, that was just another desperate distraction. You know, so let's think about it. First of all, you know, we have a process for my team. You know, a constituent will send an email, they'll go online and they'll request a sign. They request that sign, then that email is passed on to the installers. The installers don't know they don't know who lives, you know, who's living next door. They don't know that. They're not checking that. Imagine, you know, we have about over 3,000 signs at this time. So they install it as requested. So the request came from a homeowner. The request didn't come from, I can't request it. I don't know who owns, you know, the owner of that lot. They requested that. And so, and in that request, they were very specific about what they wanted. And that is exactly what was installed. I don't check all of the requests to see what you're asking for and who lives next door. I think the bigger question is this: why is it that if you walk through that neighborhood and you look on that street, you don't see any of your neighbors supporting you? That's the question. That's the question we should be asking. And I haven't heard that question yet. And I think that we got to start digging deeper into what we see and really think about, you know, the root of the issue. And for me, as a representative for District 2 and with my neighbors, if I didn't have any neighbors supporting me, I would be concerned to think that now you want to lead the entire District 2. You got to first be neighborly. So think about that.
You're a strong candidate, a mother, hard worker, educator, been to college. Could you explain to the people of District 2 why the purpose and why you would like to be their leader in District 2 come third Tuesday?
That's a great question. So
thank you.
I've had the opportunity to canvass over 2,000 homes. And I'm going to start with what the constituents are saying, and then I'm going to come back to my why. And they've been consistent. I don't care if I'm in Oakley. I don't care if I'm on Monterey. I don't care if it's a shotgun house. I don't care if it's a mansion. They want a leader that will listen, who will act, and who will deliver. That's what they want, right? That's what they're saying to me. I just ask the questions. What are your needs? What are you looking for? What's not working for you? And so my why is really based on what I shared before. I look at the career that I was afforded, growing up down the Bay, a single parent, to be able to have the career that allows me to become the chief over all the schools across the United States Department of Defense, and to be able to travel the world in terms of leading those schools, in terms of training those school leaders. I made a vow early on that I would come back and put my talents to use, because in doing that work, you have to be able to manage multi-million-dollar budgets. You must be able to be a strong collaborator. You must be able to build partnerships. You must be able to listen effectively and drive change. And so I knew that my blessing meant that I had to come back and do the same for others. Just like somebody poured into me, the community poured into me, I needed to do the same. And the driving force behind that was, as I walked through and visit and would be home visiting, seeing the neighborhoods, looking at the regression, is specifically Africatown, it broke my heart. And, and I knew that this is, to whom much is given, much is required. Luke 12:48. And I knew that I've been blessed immensely, and it was time to come back and do the same in my community. So that's why I'm running. That's why I'm excited, because in all of my opportunities to lead as an executive, I've always been able to get significant results. And I plan on doing the same for District 2.
Yes, ma'am.
And remember now, District 2 is the heart of the city. If we move District 2 forward, we move Mobile forward.
Yeah, that's so true. I would like you to elaborate a little bit on your first 100 days in office there. How do you foresee that, and what vision that you have coming into the door come Tuesday?
You killing me, Djlo. You coming up with some, boy. Hey, all right, okay.
I've been doing it all day today, baby. We've been rolling today. You the last one. You got to knock it out. You got to take it on home.
All right, let's do it. So the data that I've gathered from the last, over the canvassing time over the last few months really is driving what's going to happen for the first 100 days. But my goal is to put out a more comprehensive survey and to really get a complete assessment of what the people want for District 2. And that's how we're going to begin to prioritize. It's not going to be what Samantha thinks, what I want. We're going to prioritize based off of their needs. So the first part of that 100 days will consist of assessing the needs of the citizens, the constituents. What do they want? Then based off of that, we're also going to be forming those partnerships, those relationships, making sure that we put in place our structures for communication, because communication was one of those issues that many of the constituents felt that, hey, the communication is not a two-way in terms of engagement. So we're going to be putting those structures in, establishing our monthly Facebook Live, establishing our weekly newsletter, establishing our quarterly community meetings, because that communication is critical in terms of the way we move forward. So the first 100 days will focus on communication, relationships, but a needs assessment and assessing what the constituents of District 2 want as priorities.
Coming into office, how would you consider staying connected to the people and the problems in District 2? Would you have a direct line? Would you keep an up and running email? Would they be able to inbox? Because the district, they want to, from what I'm hearing from the people that inbox me to get in touch with you, they want a direct councilman that they can get to with no kind of red tape to go through. So have you thought about implementing a plan where the people in District 2 can get to you when they need to get to you?
I love it. So one of the things, the old-fashioned way is not broken. We need to make sure that they have the phone numbers, right? They should have access to me through telephones, through the cell phone. But the other way is, like I said, the monthly Facebook Live. That will give them an opportunity to come in. These are my issues. They come back the next month. We're able to say, yes, it's been taken care of. No, it hasn't. So they know right away if I'm addressing it or if it has not been addressed. And I think that's important because that gives us accountability. You know, that they don't have to wait 3 years from now to say, oh, she didn't do what she said she was going to do. They'll be able to know right away, wait a minute, every month we come in, we're not seeing what we expect. And I think that's what that gives us that accountability. So we're going to have the telephone. We're going to have the monthly Facebook Live. But also, as I shared, we're going to still make sure we have the community meetings. And then in our telephone logs, when they're calling me, we're going to log that. This is what you call about. This is the date you call. And here's the response. So as you can see, we're going to be building instructions for accountability, but to make sure that they're getting the follow through from those phone calls.
Yes, ma'am. So it's like coming into office, y'all been running a heavy campaign race, a tight race. I know 2 of y'all have. In District 2, what are your plans looking at the housing market we have today and the annual salary is not meeting the house market for a single family home? How would you go into the council explaining to them that that's just too much money for your district to move money to the district?
Yeah. So I think what we have to consider is the fact that there are multiple factors that are impacting that. First of all, we have to get better quality jobs, right? We have to attract better quality jobs here to Mobile so that people can afford to have a better quality of home and in life, right? In addition to that, you ask, what are some things? I believe in bringing all the players to the table. We have to bring in nonprofit. We have to bring in profitable business. We have to bring in commercial. We have to bring in all the players to consider what are the options. I think when we work in isolation, we can't tackle the problem. But when you bring in the business sector, when you bring in the nonprofit, when you bring in faith-based, when you bring in commercial, you bring them all to the table, then we begin to think about, as a think tank, what's working in other areas. So let's look at the other cities and how they're making a difference. And then you bring that back to Mobile and you tweak that to make it work for Mobile. But it first starts with our economic development. And when you talk about economic development, we got to deal with our infrastructure. If your infrastructure is not where it is, it impacts economic development. So all of these factors are playing into what we're seeing in terms of our housing market. So those are some of the strategies that I will implement. But I believe in strong partnerships, and I know through partnerships it works because I'm seeing across the nation, you see cities that are doing this. And so we are going to have to find some of those models and tweak those models and make them work for Mobile.
What steps can you increase to help the community, especially with the small business? Because, when we was coming up as kids, down the bay kept a lot of small business owners moving in the right direction. So in your term in your office, have you even considered sitting down with an implement to bring the small business back to District 2?
I love it. So that's really the model we want to see, Djlo. We want to incentivize small businesses so that they can be right there in the neighborhood, because when neighborhoods, when they lack economic development, then the neighborhood is not going to thrive. A healthy neighborhood must have economic development embedded in that neighborhood. And so some of the ways we want to do that, number one, incentivizing small businesses. We incentivize these large corporations. We got to incentivize small business. Number two, we got to help them with better resources. We have to make sure the resources are coming to them in terms of showing them how to navigate and become a small business, encouraging that. Number three, we must deal with the red tape, making sure we streamline the permitting processes and things like that. I've had the opportunity to work recently with several business owners, local business owners, and two of them right now, they're tracking for me the challenges that they're having in terms of permitting. Then I'm going to take that data and bring that data and share that data with the mayor's office and the city government and say, okay, now let's look at this. How do we go in now and find the gaps so that as a small business owner, I don't end up bankrupt in the process of trying to open up? So all of those things must be considered.
What is your views on doing it the state and federal way to help not just a small business, with the youth in the community, the parks? We had a lot of stuff as we were youth to do that they don't have today. So I don't know if you had to go through the state, federal, or this a city situation, but I'm knowing that you will have to sit down and think a plan to help the youth in your district. Have you sat down and even gave that some consideration?
Well, Djlo, that is one of my greatest strengths. I've had
That's right.
30 years working with youth, right? And so I'm going to go back to what you just said. You said we used to have those opportunities, right? You remember JTPA. But if you look at the city budget now compared to what it was back then and where we are now, it's a significant decrease, right? So what are my plans? I think we have to remember we can't just always rely on federal. At the local level, we have to put in innovative strategies to address our opportunities for our youth. And one of those for me would be working with our business industry. So for example, when we bring in these large corporations, the first thing we do, we give them tax breaks, we incentivize them, we give them all these opportunities so that they can, get off to a great start. Well, we're also going to say to them, and part of mine would be that, you know what, that's great, but you now have to invest back into our future, which is our youth. And how do you do that? You offer internships with them. So if you're a company, you give us a certain percentage of slots representing the number of the types of incentives we've given you, then now we're going to get those slots. And now those students have what? A summer internship in any area that they're interested in. So now we begin to build a pipeline. So I get to go work in the field of architect. Then I go off to Auburn and major in that. And guess what I'm going to do when I graduate? I'm going to come what? Right back to that same company. So now we're able to ensure that our youth thrive right here in Mobile, and they don't have to leave to do that. And so that's just one example of how we can really invest in our youth, but do it in a way that creates a pipeline. And it's not based off your income. It's for all youth. My platform says, across the board, it's inclusive for all. And I think that's important if we really want to create a thriving and robust District 2.
Yes, ma'am. The city of Mobile is growing tremendously. We got Airbus coming in. Amtrak just came back. They building new business downtown. So how can you come into your office after Tuesday, the 26th, and keep District 2 striving in the right direction with the city?
Go on, Anchorman. So knowledge is power. Knowledge is power, right? So the first thing I'm going to need to do is to make sure that I am partnering with those businesses, that I know exactly where we are and where we're going, where the future holds for those companies, what we've already put on paper, right? Because oftentimes commitments have been made. So I'm going to have to go and do an analysis of what those commitments are, finding out where we are and what they're proposing. But I think what's so important is that not only that I conduct that analysis, but in doing that, I'm forming partnerships with them, because in forming those partnerships is going to allow me to make sure that I'm looking out for the interests of the residents. They want something for our youth. So I'm able to tell them right away, you need to go ahead and start thinking about our youth, because whatever you're working on, they have to have a role in that in terms of opportunities for our youth. We talked about economic development, looking at what are some better quality positions so that our citizens are really able to afford the homes and the increase that we're seeing in the housing market. So that's just one way that I would immediately get in, so that I have the information to make informed decisions on behalf of District 2 residents.
Yes, ma'am. But District 2 is kind of like the heartbeat of the city. District 2 is a vibrant part of the city. I would like you to keep it going in the right direction, because there's so much moving right now. Could you please tell the citizens of District 2 before I let you go, I appreciate you so much tonight. I know your boots been on the ground, you moving and grooving in and out, and I appreciate you for giving me the time. But before we leave, I would love for you to tell the citizens of District 2 what is Miss Ingram dreams and goals in her term in that district.
All right, Djlo. I think it's my vision and my dreams are based on what the citizens want to see for themselves. And that is a better quality of life. They want the roads not to be patched. They want to be able to have an infrastructure that allows them to drive down the street, be able to get out of their house without drainage issues. They want to make sure that they're safe in their environment, and they want to ensure that their children can thrive in Mobile and not have to leave, and they too can thrive. And so that's the vision I have, and it is a vision that's been built around my interactions and talking with them. Now, I can share with you that we're going to prioritize based off of their feedback, and I think that's critical. Wherever I've gone, I don't care if it's Oakley or Africa Town, one message is clear. They want a leader who will listen, who will act, and who will deliver. And if I'm listening, then that means I'm taking their information to shape the vision for District 2. But in the end, I'll say this to you. My goal is that District 2 becomes the model across the nation, that they can see how you can step into a district that over the last 20 years has been underinvested, and you can take that district to levels that people come back to model and talk about and marvel at. And so that's my plan. That's the goal. I have had that opportunity to do that in every walk of every position. And I want to do the same for District 2. I want District 2 to be the model, not just for Mobile, but the model across the nation. So that's the plan.
Ma'am. I thank you so much. It's the great Dr. Samantha Ingram, born and raised down the Bay, graduated from BC Rain High School, educator over 20 plus years, a part of the Divine Nine. She's a Delta girl, and she graduated from the Auburn University. We greatly appreciate you, Queen. We wish you all success come Tuesday. Please get out and vote. The reason for this platform is to let African Americans, Black, Hispanics know that vote count. We need you to vote. For some strange reason, we got the lowest voter turnout and the highest voter registrators that don't go vote. So my term in this, I had to get the people to the candidates. And this is District 2, Dr. Samantha Ingram as a candidate. Thank you so much, Queen. We appreciate you. Thank you for your time. Keep your boots on the ground, and good luck to you.
Vote Samantha Ingram, August 26th. Thank you so much.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you. As I was saying, man, that was the great Samantha Ingram, man. Y'all please get out and vote. That's August 26th. That is this Tuesday. We running the tight ship. I did 4 candidates today, 2 running for mayor, 1 running for District 1, and 1 running for District 2. I'm trying to line up the other candidate for District 2. Hopefully we get that done tomorrow, and he come in tomorrow. That's the great William Carroll. So I've been working. I thank all y'all who been joining me throughout today. I started this journey at 1 o'clock this afternoon. She finished the journey up today. So I'm doing my part. I hope you do yours. August the 26th is going down in the great state of Alabama. And the one that's the hottest topic is the mayor of Alabama. They're not running against nobody. Our mayor that we currently have is getting ready to retire. So you got to pick one. I done talked to 3 of them already. I brought you Paul Prime, I done brought you Barbara Drummond, and I brought you Solento. So y'all done had 3 of them to choose from. And I hope you go back and look at the platform and share it to somebody that's on the fence about voting. And we just got through talking to the great Dr. Samantha Ingram, and she's running for District 2. So I see y'all tomorrow. If I can get the deal with William Carroll, he'll be coming on tomorrow about 6 o'clock. And Tuesday, it'll be all over, man. I hope I get to interview the winners because I've really been grinding hard to get this platform picked up for these voters and the people that do vote. You must vote. If you don't vote, you got no voice and sitting on the fence because you don't know which one to vote for. I try to eliminate that this time and bring the candidates directly to the people. So I thank y'all so much, man. I'll hopefully see y'all tomorrow night. I told Mr. Carroll we're going to try to do it at 6 o'clock. He said, okay. So we're going to try to run him tomorrow. And I greatly appreciate it, man. And that's District 2, Dr. Samantha Ingram. So I thank y'all again. Appreciate y'all all day for the ones that checked in and out all day. It's been simply amazing. I had really ain't had no rest because they think they was like 30 to 40-minute blocks. But I got it did, man. I didn't know how I was going to get it did, but we got it did. And I do this for the people because I'm nothing without y'all. And I'm out, man. I thank y'all so much. And I am Mr. Grown and Sexy, Djlo. God bless.